if anyone can hear me, I'm hanging, there's a yellow handkerchief out there. So if you see the handkerchief, throw the file and the smoke bomb up it's high. I don't know if you have like a giant friend or something. Send them up. If you know the levitate spell, that would be great. That would probably do it just by itself.
Hey, okay. I know this might be a little confusing, and I know there was somebody else here a little bit ago, so you
I
probably
wasn't
don't
doing anything.
recognize me. Yeah, no, okay, whatever, sure, fine. Not doing anything. I didn't hear anything. I'm extremely confused. We've been getting stacks and stacks and stacks of these letters?
Like, like normal written letters?
Yes.
Huh. I
I
guess.
don't know. They just keep showing up. Like I'll empty my desk one day, I'll come back in, it's overflowing. I think it's magical. It's really upsetting. If you could stop it from happening, I would
Are
appreciate that.
are you
Maybe you should
kidding?
read some.
This is amazing. I didn't. I've
How
had
is this
almost
amazing?
zero proof. Because I've been talking into the stupid rock for weeks. I have no proof that anyone's listening.
Okay, I can work with that. Can you take them and get rid of them somehow?
I actually. So I don't. Did you? I don't know if you met Wisteria, the weird, creepy druid lady.
She sounds familiar, but I hid when she came. I was in a cupboard.
I would have too. What's in the cupboard? Is there better food in the cupboard?
There was better food. I ate it.
Past tense is the worst when we're talking about better food. So the stone's already on. So if Wisteria is not coming and you have the letters, do you wanna do a thing?
Oh my god, sure, I'm so bored.
Wonderful. So I'm Alden. What was your name?
Terrell.
Terrell. We're gonna take one of these letters. We're gonna read what it says to whoever might have might be listening to the whatever that's happening on the stone. If you have an idea of advice for the person, you tell them some advice. I'll do the same, and then hopefully we help somebody who is having a rough time.
Boy, do I have great advice.
I think
It's
that
sarcasm. Have you
okay.
heard of it?
I know it's just you are the only person here, and I don't want you to leave.
Okay. Here. Should I read it or do you want to read it?
No, it's your first time. You read it.
Oh, man, my intro, I'm so nervous. All right. Dear guides, I am being aggressively pressed to be the champion of a god. However, it's not the god I worship. Our group is already overloaded with weighty responsibilities on our shoulders. Aside from the fact that one of those responsibilities is to help my actual worshipped god with something, I just don't think we have the capacity to represent a whole other deity. But how do you say no to a god?
I mean, I've had this problem from the other side once. So there was this friend of mine who had this whole like thing going on where he was kind of like inspiring a group of
Oh,
worshippers because they lost
a
their leader.
cult.
I I think it might have been a cult. It's a little iffy. I don't know what
I think it sounds like a cult.
but I killed the original leader, and so he like
Oh.
slipped in and kind of took over, and then I posed as an opposing leader, and we were trying to like pit individuals in the group against each other, and kind of like see if we could get people to do stuff against their best
This seems
interests.
pretty shady. No wonder you're in jail.
That's not that's not what got me in jail. That's a different story. It's a better story. Yeah, no. So we kind of toyed with these people for a while, and think I think he left one alive to tell the tale, but I still don't know like what that tale was. He was managing it a lot more. I was just sort of like helping. But I will say that from the other side experience, people who are just trying to get you to do stuff because they think you should be worshiping them is like they're very self-centered. They're very non-considerate of your needs. Like anyone who you care about and want to devote yourself to, that's a great motivation to like put yourself out there and give them some attention. But if somebody else is trying to pressure you to be that when like that's not like, you don't have that devotion to them but they still want similar treatment, that feels a little bit like abusive and problematic, and I really feel
Mm.
like that's not in anyone's best interest to do what someone else says you should do because they think you should be
Mm.
devoted to them when you're not. And I know some people who've been in bad relationships too, and that sounds like that. That sounds like that.
You know what? I have to say that I do think it depends on the way you say no to the other god. Because if you're worshiping god number one and you guys are chilling. You're God number one, you're on the same wavelength. But then God number two comes along and he's like, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to the thunder. I think you should be worshiping the earth instead. And you're like, wait a second, I'm a thunder guy. I don't like the earth. So screw you. I'm off. I'm not doing this earth thing. I'm gonna continue talking to my thunder. Well, then the earth god gets mad, and then an avalanche crushes your home. So this may or may not have been personal experience. I think probably the best thing to do is, stick with the god where you guys are on the same wavelength, and maybe for god number two, if you can't politely turn them down, maybe vacate the area so they can't crush your home with an avalanche.
Have you had your home crushed with an avalanche? This sounds like a thing.
Well, I don't like to talk about my past too much, but boy, have I had my home crushed by an avalanche. Actually, it's happened 3 times. For some reason, I am just an extremely desirable acolyte. I think it's because I bring so much passion and mindless drive to everything I do. Not sarcastically, that's why I'm a prison guard in a box. But just every god that comes along through here just really wants me to be their worshiper. They usually want me to be a high priestess or something of the like, but I've already got my thunder god guy, and we're chill, and so I don't want this earth god or this water god or this, I don't know, one time there was a tree god. What is that? That's like earth god but discount, But when I told him that to his face, well, then my home got crushed by a falling tree. So after this, it was actually the lightning god. It was the thunder god's like evil twin or something. He came along and I was like, oh, I'm actually busy that day.
Yeah, they're so competitive about that. It's
they're
really
so
weird.
Competitive. It's stupid. And I don't get it. But I just told him I was busy every Wednesday for the next 60 years.
I feel like with you being in demand of deities that I just need to ask, is this a letter that really came in, or are you just asking on your own behalf as a guise?
You got me. I was really hoping you wouldn't notice, but I've been all over the place.
I don't really. So I think we should do this again, but like next time, we should read one of the actual letters, especially since you're getting so many of them.
Fine.
I'm fine with this. This is fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, but I will do a real letter next time. I promise.
Neat. Well, hey, hold on. Let me try something. If anyone is listening still and you're in the vicinity of the tower, bang on the door really, really loud, and when Terrell answers, just give her all the apples and or alcohol, and hopefully she shares.
Or alcohol made from apples.
That's the dream. If you have the overlapping object of cider, hit it. Yep.
That is the dream. And definitely all of it will go to the bard, and none of it is going to go into my stomach before he ever knows of its existence.
It's fine. This is the only chance I have. If the letters are any indication of how much might come in, I'm just hoping there's enough to share.
Fine. Next time I come with a letter, I will also bring the hopeful cider.
That would be awesome. I haven't had anything other than moldy bread in weeks.
Yeah, that would be my fault. Sorry about that.
Well, it was lovely meeting you.
You've been the most enjoyable prisoner I've ever talked to.
I try, and if they didn't have these, like, anti-enchantment wards up, I would totally have gotten out of here before.
I'm sure.
Have you remember those other 2 guards who were, like, used to walk the hallways up here? Yeah. I seduced both of them. They couldn't figure out how to get the door open.
Really?
Yeah.
We
never amounted to anything.
Don't try seducing me. It won't work.
We can talk about that later.
Well, I need to get back to my duties of staring at the wall. I'll try to draw it, but the wall is calling, and I must go.
Alright, well, I'll close out. If anyone else ever needs to, get some advice, then, come, leave more letters, I guess. It seems to be working. Bye! Keep an eye out for new episodes on Sundays, and if you want to send in a letter, or if you just want to learn more about the show, head to shadedareas.com.